So this is it. This is a Ford Ranger XLT Plus Special Edition. So what that means is that it basically comes with some extra stuff, such as this fancy grille, these fancy fenders, and also leather seats. So first impressions from the outside, it looks quite aggressive. The front looks quite menacing, it looks very long, and it looks very tall. And the answer is D, all of the above. It is very long and it's very tall. But to me, I think it looks really good. I think that these fenders work really well, and I think that this black suits the car almost perfectly. Well, the back, it looks a bit more simple. It looks like a normal truck. I guess the only notable thing would be that it has one reverse light and the other one is a rear fog light. So if you're a fan of asymmetry, this works for you. Well, since we're here, let's see what the bed looks like. It's pretty big. Yeah, you can fit a lot of stuff in here, and this one's actually fitted with a tonneau cover. Hi. Now let's get into the inside. So to open it, you just put your hand inside and it opens. So once you're inside, it's pretty straightforward. Foot on the brake and that's pretty much it. So here on the inside, there's actually quite a lot going on. For example, here on the dashboard, there's a lot of info here on the information screen, even stuff like fuel economy. You can adjust all sorts of settings, even certain keys, all these stuff. And then even here on infotainment, there's a lot going on here. You've got audio, phones, and maps, and then it has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which actually works really well. It's quite fluid, it's quite fast. And one of my personal favorites about this car, you can have it on a multi-screen format, so you can actually set up like maybe 2 or 3 apps over here on screen while you're driving, so it's quite convenient. And for those who don't like using a touchscreen all the time, it's got a ton of physical buttons here for your essentials, such as your sound system, your climate control, and then it's got basic conveniences such as an additional USB port for your charging, even another 12-volt socket over here. It's got dual zone climate control. So in terms of reverse cameras, this only has one. It doesn't have a 360 view. It doesn't even have front sensors. All it has is this one reverse camera, and it does tell you like which side you're close to in the back, and to its credit, it is clear, so there's not much I would complain about. Then finally on my right, you can see there's actually a lot of features here. You've got the light for the bed, the front fog lights, rear fog lights. This is to adjust the brightness on your dashboard, and then you've got your light settings here, which is normal, off, parking, dim, and auto. But my favorite feature is this one in the middle. You press it and it pops out, and you can actually adjust the level of where you want the lights to be, if it's going up or going down. So it's actually quite a lot of fun, to be honest. Okay, and over here in the driver's seat, there are some things that I don't like. For example, the seats are not electric. The recliner's in a very inconvenient place for me. And even adjusting the steering wheel, it goes up and down, but it doesn't go in and out. But what can we do? Other than that, it's actually a very nice place to be in. It's got some decent cup holders. It's got one cubby hole and a second cubby hole. So that's pretty nice. Not much else to complain. Windows, only one is automatic, the rest are not, but they all work. Okay, so now for the back seats, and it's actually not a bad place at all. I'm 5'10", and this is set in my driving position, and there is a ton of knee room, a lot of leg room, and it's actually quite a nice place to be in. I wouldn't complain, to be honest. It's got an armrest over here, which has a couple of cup holders here. It's got a 12-volt socket over here. It's got some cubby holes. It's all you need. It's no Mercedes, but it's pretty nice. Another quirk I forgot to talk about was the signals are on the right side, which is normal, nothing strange about it. But what's strange is the wipers. For most cars, to adjust your wipers, you go down. But for this car, you go up. For example, let me just spread the screen a little bit. If I want to adjust the wipers, I have to push up, and it does that. Why? I don't know, but that's what it does. Now, if there's anything more that you think I should cover in terms of car reviews, because I'm still pretty new to this, so if there's anything you think that I should talk about more, just let me know and I'll do my best. Now, let's see how it drives. Okay, so driving the Ford Ranger, first impressions you get when you drive this car is that it's very long. So when you're getting in and out of parking lots, you have to be extra careful because of its length. And honestly, if you're not used to it, it can be quite troublesome at first, but after a while you get used to it. And then once you're on the road and not worrying about parking lots anymore, it's actually quite a nice drive. It's very tall and you get a very commanding view of everything in front of you, so that's quite a nice thing. In terms of engines, this car comes with a 2-liter turbo diesel with a single turbo which has 180 horsepower and 420 newton meters of torque. There are higher spec models which come with 2 turbos which have even more power and more torque. So some of you may be asking, this car weighs over 2 tons. Is that small 2-liter engine enough? And here I am, I'm telling you right now, yes, it is enough. It's actually more than enough most of the time. You don't ever feel the lack of power, or should I say torque, because you don't actually feel the lack of torque due to this 10-speed gearbox which puts you in the right torque band pretty much all the time. And the way it goes through the gears is actually very impressive because you don't actually ever feel the gears of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The car decides what gear is best for you, and if it needs to, it even skips gears. For example, I'm doing 80 in 8th gear. I need to overtake this car. I just press the pedal lightly and I'm in 6th and I've overtaken the car with ease. It's very nice, it's very pleasant, and to be honest, it's a great gearbox. Now, in terms of wind noise, that's actually a bit of a weak spot of this car. Now, the owner has actually installed these wind deflectors which have actually made the wind noise a little bit worse. But even before that, it was already quite bad. I mean, you can have a conversation just fine, even on highway speeds, but anything above 100, 110 kilometers an hour, you start hearing this wind noise creeping into the cabin. But overall, it's actually a very pleasant drive. It drives well on highways, the power is good, the torque is very good, handling's fine, nothing to complain about. The way it absorbs bumps isn't great because it's a truck, but it's good, it's fine. But the way it takes the bumps is very, very good. It takes it like a champ. You don't feel worried driving over undulations and bumps, especially on Malaysian roads. Overall, it's actually a very nice daily driver as long as you can get used to the length and the height, because there have been times where when I'm entering into like a parking lot that I've been worried because the antenna has hit the ceiling twice. Okay, so here's a quick standing start. Drive mode, nothing special, just here we go. And there we have it. That's it. This is the Ford Ranger, and it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward.